mind exercise. So I need you to be ready to think, ready to be honest with your thoughts, and have integrity with what we are going to discuss and think about and go over. So these thoughts I started thinking about actually today when I was doing one of my YouTube videos, a cycle video that's going to come out next week, and we were working with perceived exertion. So I in particular was working with 60, 70, 90% perceived exertion. So in a cycle class or in a class or in anything in life, right, then what you perceive as 60% exertion is different for you than it would be for me. And if you're tired or didn't get enough sleep or for any reason you're just off, your 60% on Monday would be a lot different than a 60% on a Friday when you ate well and you got 8 hours of sleep and you're feeling motivated and awesome, right? So 60%, then bumping it up to 70% takes awareness. So we need to be aware of where our 60% is. Is it really 60%? Or are we lying to ourselves and pretending it's 60% when we're really at 40%? So that takes awareness, which we can go through a whole other rabbit hole on that. So 60 to 70 is a slight little boost to 70%. So then you would have to push a little bit more. And you could say for the cycle, for example, you would add some more tension or maybe speed or both, just to bump it up a little bit more to 70%. Then, of course, to 90, that's a bigger bump. It's almost 100%, but it's not quite there, but it's hard. You're going, you know you're pushing, and if I was to ask you, are you at 90%? And if you didn't say yes right away, then that would be a no. Because you know when you're pushing, and you know when you're not pushing. If you really think about it, and you're honest, and you have awareness, you can put all those pieces together. So that's basically where this video is coming from. My mindset was on perceived exertion. And I'm also going to use this book, which we've used before, the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. So let me go ahead and start with this. So this one says, who's to say the effort to be real isn't the beginning of wings? Who's to say that the budding of wings from the ribs of small birds doesn't begin with the impulse within them to live? Who's to say that the butterfly breaking through its cocoon isn't the result of its being tired of living in a tight weave of its own making? So let's stop there, but it goes on, and I'll get there. Tight weave of its own making. So putting that into perspective and putting it into our own real life, we make our own choices. We can have awareness of what we're doing to get to our goal, whatever it is, if it's in wellness and fitness, if it's in relationships, it's financial. Wherever your goals are, that takes awareness to see, okay, what are my goals and am I getting there, and what am I doing specifically to get there, which you can measure and you can journal. There's different ways of doing that. Having accountability partners, surrounding you with friends that are also achieving their goals, which is going to help you to feel motivated and keep going. But which we've talked about before, remember, motivation is not necessary, right? You don't have to feel motivated to take steps to get to your goal. Very important, because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fleeting. We're not always happy. We're not always sad. We're not always motivated, and it's irrelevant. We can still get to our goals and take steps because we have awareness and we know what that looks like. So getting back to tight weave of its own making. So we need to look seriously at what we're doing and look at the consequences that our actions and our choices are bringing onto our own lives. So instead of blaming other people, blaming your spouse for bringing in those sugary snacks, blaming your age and metabolism and menopause on your weight gain, blaming COVID-19, blame doesn't get you anywhere, and it's denial. So take responsibility and do what you can do, because there's always more things you can do than stewing on the things that you can't. And if we keep looking at what we can't and we can't and we can't, then I believe you. We've talked about that before also. If you say you can't, you won't. And if you say you can't, I believe you. So stop arguing for your limitations, because if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. So say, no thank you, I'm no longer going to fight for my limitations. But again, this takes awareness. So we need to be aware of our brain thoughts that are coming into our head, and aware of our actions that stem from our thoughts. And we need to look at them, and this takes practice. It's not like, oh, you watch this video and bam, I'm cured. No, this is an ongoing process for the rest of your life. There's no finish line. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly learning. We're constantly seeing new things. And sadly, I just had a conversation with my husband about this. Sadly, the more we look at things and work on things and are aware of things, we see there's more and more and more actually to work on. And what we don't know, we can't work on, right? It's kind of scary. The more you kind of look at your situations and what you're doing, the more you can see that you have room for improvement, which is awesome, because that's up to us. That's our choices, and that is a good thing. We're not stuck. We might have stopped. You're not stuck. So that's another thing. If you're finding yourself saying, I'm stuck, I'm just stuck, take that out of your vocabulary, because that is not true. You're not stuck. You stopped. That was a choice. Make another choice. Get up and go. It could be a baby step. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to be motivated. You can take a step in the right direction that's an improvement for you in any area of your life. Okay, so next time you find yourself saying, I'm just stuck, realize that that is a lie, that is a story, that is an excuse, and we no longer want to be that person. We're not interested. No. I chose to stop, and I will get back and go. Okay, let's read again. Who's to say that the migration of flamingos from South America to Africa doesn't begin with the yearning to eat the yellow ribbon that keeps lining the horizon? And who's to say the color of passion doesn't line our faces the instant we grow tired of living in a tight cocoon of our own making? Who's to say the journey to love doesn't begin the instant we give voice to that loneliness that no one wants to hear? Let's stop there. That loneliness that no one wants to hear. That loneliness that you might feel that you kind of push aside, that you don't want to look at. That's where our growth is. That's where it starts, is to look at that stuff. Don't just push it aside. Don't blame other people. Don't sit and complain and gossip to other people. Look at what you can do, or where in your life, and there might be many, that's fine. It's the same for everybody. They just don't admit it. Those that say they don't have these things are lying, or they're in denial. We all have spaces in our lives that needs a little bit of improvement, or a lot. So kind of look at where that would fall. You can even think about it and journal about it. You don't have to tell anybody until you're ready to, and then bring it out into the world and communicate it. ways to that loneliness that no one wants to hear. Face it. Look, where are you not doing what you really feel like you could do and want to do? Where are you feeling lonely? Where are you not feeling motivated? Where in your life needs to change or shift because you just feel like it does? Even if no one agrees with you, it's your life. What do you want to shift? Look at that, and what's a small improvement that you can make to start shifting? Start looking at those things. Start journaling those things. Start really being honest and having integrity with yourself, and look at where you can change. And you can. It's up to you. The choices you make, the decisions you make, move you forward. It's up to you to make those choices, look at where you want to change, grow, evolve, and take those steps. Who's to say the journey to peace doesn't sprout like a small wing the instant we let our feelings find their place in the world? In truth, every effort that is allowed its full beat within will ripple as a birth of some kind in the world. Let me say that again. In truth, every effort that is allowed its full beat within will ripple as a birth of some kind in the world. So every effort, that means action, specific, detailed action, not just I want to be healthier, I want a better marriage. Okay, what is that? It's different to everyone. What is a small improvement for you? What would that look like? What are you able and willing to do to put you forward now? Because what we do now, today, right now, slowly transforms where our life is going tomorrow. So if we keep saying, oh, I can do that tomorrow, or I'll do that next week, that's not going to work. No. At least look where you can make improvements. Don't be in denial. Look at it and pick one thing and concentrate on that and have it in front of you. Have it in your journal. Have a sticky note somewhere so you know that that's something that you want to work on and grow in. Enter your days inviting one deep feeling to sprout from you. So what would that mean to you? It can mean something different for everyone. So enter your day, so each day, each morning, inviting one deep feeling to sprout from you. So we might not be in the practice of looking at our feelings, looking at where we don't feel comfortable, looking at where we feel resistance, right? Many of us, we might feel it and we stuff it. We might feel it and we reach for food. We might feel it and we push it away and we start gossiping with our friends to make ourselves look better and feel better, which truly doesn't make you feel better. So look with integrity at what you're thinking, what you're doing, and know that you're in control of your thoughts. A negative thought may come in, catch it, redirect it. Find an affirmation that fits, like, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm doing that again. I am making excuses in the area of where I want to grow, and I'm not doing that anymore. So what can I do now to shift that thought, right? Start journaling. Go do something positive that negates that thought. Anything fits there. So to tie it all back together, where I started previously from my cycle class, 60, 70, 90 perceived exertion. So that kind of ties in because you need to be aware of, are you working like 60% of the time on your goals and where you want to be and the person that you want to become? Are you working 90% and you're seeing results and you're realizing, wow, how much effort I put into XYZ is how much results I get, which is a true fact. So if you're putting 60% exertion in your cycle class continuously, then you're going to get that 60% of results. If you put 90%, even 80%, if you're now at 60, if you start just pushing yourself a little bit to 80 or 90%, you will see and feel a difference. The more effort you put into anything, the more results you will get. So I want you to really be aware. Look at your effort. Where are your thoughts? Bring them back to where you want to be and get an accountability partner. Find a friend and say, you know what, where do you find resistance in your life, and what are you working on this week or this month? Or meet monthly. What are you working on? What did you achieve? Where did you fall behind on your goals? That's fine. It's not a failure. You're just shifting, pivoting, which we've talked about before. What can you do to achieve that goal? Maybe that goal doesn't fit in your life anymore. That's fine. Look at it. At least then you know, oh, that's not a goal of mine anymore. That's interesting. Then take it off your list, write a new one, shift it to something else, then meet again the next month with a friend or text somebody. Have accountability. Know what you're working towards. Have a measurement to measure, are you getting there? And have full awareness of how much exertion, how much effort you're putting into your workouts. How much effort are you putting into your relationships? How much effort are you putting into growth and learning and having integrity on keeping your word? Wherever you are, how much integrity do you have in your financial health? Do you need to spend less? Do you need to have a second stream of income, a third stream of income? Do you even know? That might be step number 1. Look at your budget. Wherever, right? We all are in a different spot, different spectrum here. Have awareness, then go beyond there. Okay, a lot in there to think about. I'm proud of you for watching this and for wanting to be that person, to have integrity and the character, to build your integrity and honesty, and having growth. So put effort into it. Put a lot of effort into it. Have awareness that you're doing so, and you'll get the results that you want. Have a good one.